everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of B-GHUD Academy. Last week we discussed a few commonly asked questions on IELTS reading. In case you haven't watched it, please click on the link given below in the description. Here's part 2 and we have with us Alan once again. So the first question is, what is the difference between a computer-based and a pen and paper-based reading test?
See, when it comes to computer-based and a pen and paper-based exam, the ultimate task again remains the same. In both the cases, we are supposed to go through the reading contents and find the answers for the questions. So there is no change in the task there. But the difference lies in how the exams are conducted. So when it comes to pen and paper based exam, they are going to give you a passage and an answer sheet will be given, which will be printed on a paper, and you need to write down your answers on the answer sheet by using a pencil. On the other hand, in computer based exam, instead of writing anything there, you're supposed to type in. So the passage, the questions which you need to answer, everything will be displayed on the monitor. The spaces where you're supposed to type your answers will be also given along with the questions itself. You just need to type in the details. You just need to type in the answers there. So people who are actually good at typing or who has got ample knowledge about computers, you may better go for computer-based exams. And one of the benefits that I would say is the results will be published quickly when compared to the pen and paper based exams. So results are normally published in 3 to 5 days. On the other hand, in a pen and paper based exam, it might take 13 days for the results to get published. So that is one of the benefits.
The next question is, will the answers be in the same order as of the passage?
It actually depends on the type of the question. If people may be remembering, in the last video I did mention certain types of questions that are frequently asked in IELTS reading, and out of that almost every question is going to be in the same order. Almost, I didn't say everything, almost every question. So there are many questions. Unfortunately, I won't be able to explain that because it is definitely going to take a lot of amount of time, which is totally impractical right now. So I would say majority of the questions are in the same order. In those cases, the answers in the passage can be easily found on the basis of the order itself. And there are certain questions, certain types of questions which don't maintain any such order. For that, you might have to use a different strategy.
Is it important to use uppercase letters?
Alright, I will say it is kind of important to use uppercase letters in answers. See, it's not a rule, or it is not like it's mandatory to use just capital letters or uppercase letters while writing answers. If a candidate prefers to write the answers entirely in small letters, that is also acceptable. The person will still get a score if the answer they have written is right and if it is readable. That is actually the most important aspect. Your answer needs to be right, plus it should be legible enough. See, it's usually recommended by almost everybody that it is better to write everything in capital letters, not because it's a rule, but because of a greater legibility that it can provide. So when a person writes everything in capital letters, it will be easy for the examiners or the person who will be evaluating the answer to read and understand. Because of this reason, I would say it is important to write the answers in uppercase letters or in capital letters, in both, not only in reading but also in listening to.
Which is the most difficult section of IELTS reading?
In IELTS reading, in the previous video we discussed that an IELTS reading passage, both the GT and an academic passage, will contain 3 sections. And out of that, I would say the third section is comparatively difficult. I will never say it is difficult on its own. It can be easy, it can be made easy by the candidates. But when you compare it with the other 2 sections, the first 2 sections, the third section can be a bit difficult.
Any tips for answering questions with true, false and not given?
Alright, see, true, false, not given, yes, no, not given. These are the 2 types of questions which these days many of the candidates find difficult. Whenever I talk with the candidates, with the students at this institution, I have come to know that they find it difficult to choose an answer if a particular given question is true or false or not given, or yes or no and not given. See, it's not possible for me right now at this moment to talk about or to give an extended answer for this question. I can't give a long answer for this question. But I need to tell you something. You need to be very careful. See, it's not just for this type of question you need to be careful. You should be cautious and you should go through the questions and every detail carefully for every type. But here, it really is important. It's not just about reading and understanding the statement. After understanding the statement, you need to go back to the passage and you need to find out a particular information that you can connect with the question, and a proper comparison should be done there. Many people have the capability to understand the question or the paragraph. They have the capability. They are good at English. They can get the ideas correctly. So because of carelessness, they might not do a proper comparison and can end up with the wrong answer. So this is one of the tips that I want to say here, that I want to share here. So whenever you go through the question or the statement and when you compare it with the information in the passage, do a perfect comparison.
Should I read the questions or the answers first?
All right. So when you asked about the questions and the answers, why the word answers, I believe you meant the passage. So I would say it would be better to start from the questions, all right? See, if you start from the passage, there are many a problem that you might face. First of all, you will never realize why you are reading the passage in the first place. That's one of the problems. Then there is another problem. You don't really require to have the entire idea of the passage. See, we are simply trying to find the answer for the questions, only for the questions. Our purpose, our aim, our target is not to get the full idea of the passage. So that is another reason why I will never support the idea of starting from the passage. And then there is the third thing. You might not be able to manage the time properly if you try to read the passage in the first place. First of all, the passage can be lengthy, especially in the case of an academic passage. Even if you somehow manage to read a major portion of the passage in a short period of time, and even if you have understood all those details, the chances of memorizing those details are less. So I would say it's a waste of effort and time. So I will never ever support the idea of starting from the passage. Instead, always start from the questions. You may read one or two questions at a time and try to locate those questions or the area that you're supposed to read in order to find the answers for those questions in the passage. And then at that specific area, you need to concentrate and you need to come up with the answer. That's it.
Is spelling important?
Yes, spelling is very important when it comes to the reading part, not just in reading part, in listening, in writing, everywhere spelling is important. But here I would say it is so important. Everyone knows why, because we are literally copying the answers from the passage. So do we really need to expect any kind of concession if we make a mistake there in the spellings? No, we will definitely be penalized. So please be very careful when you copy the answers. Make sure you copy the answers correctly, you copy the spellings correctly when you write your answers on the answer sheet.
What if I'm not satisfied with the conduct of the test?
Alright, a situation where a candidate not being satisfied is unlikely to happen, I must say. As far as I know, IDP is the organization which conducts the exam throughout India. They conduct the exam in a very systematic and an organized manner. So the problems that could arise, I don't think a lot of problems can arise actually. Especially when it comes to the case of reading, they're not using any devices or any such extra things. It's just a passage and an answer sheet that the candidates will be provided with. So the chances of any problems occurring are less. See, when you compare it with the other module, for example, let's take the case of listening. There, the device, the headphone that you may be receiving could be malfunctioning, could be faulty. So in that case, that can be a problem and you can definitely report it. See, even if you face a problem, let's take the case of reading. In reading also, even though the chances are less, if you face a problem, what you need to do is you simply need to raise your hand. All right, you are not supposed to make any unnecessary noise there. You simply need to raise your hand. One of the examiners will come to you. You need to explain what the problem you're facing to them. They will definitely address the situation at that moment itself. They will try at least. See, after completing the exam, And if you have any problems, or if you had any problems with the exam, there is no point in reporting it, because they are not gonna, I don't think they will try to address it properly. So if you have any problems with the exam, during the exam itself, you should inform them.
And the final question for this video is it important for me to attend coaching to improve my reading skills?
Yes, I will definitely say it is important to get assistance, because that's what you get from a coaching center. So if you go to a coaching center, if you get coaching from there, you're kind of getting a proper assistance, a proper guidance from them. Definitely institutions like B-GHUD, you may say. There are many experienced staff over here, many faculty who are very much, like I said, experienced with this exam. So they will have a lot of things to share with you or with the candidates. So see, basically there are two categories of candidates. There may be students or candidates who are so good at English where they might require just a minimal coaching or a training. On the other side, there are people who might really need an intense training because they may be struggling with the language. They might not be so good at English. All right. So in both these cases, coaching is necessary. Even if a person is good at English, they might not have a great idea about IELTS, how it should be dealt, what the strategies are. See, I talked about the types of questions, and different types of questions have got different strategies, and the experienced people may be knowing more about the strategy. So even if you're good at English, if you get some additional advice from these kind of people, you can definitely avoid the initial struggles. You can definitely get a good head start there. While those who are not that good at English, if you're getting a coaching, see, in this institution, we are not just providing, or we are not just making the students or the candidates simply practicing the materials for IELTS. We are making them good at English. So a holistic approach is what we are putting forth here. So we make them good at English by dealing the students from every possible angle, so that they can be good at IELTS. At the same time, they can improve in their overall language as well. So getting a coaching is really, really important. I would definitely support that idea.
So that's it for today's video. We hope you found this helpful. If you have any more questions, please do write them down in the comment section below. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.